we're going to move right on into chapter 2, which is the displacement of indigenous Palestinians at this time. The British Palestine, starting from 1919 to 1948, again had men. The Jewish community and the Zionists formed the J&H, which consisted of various different migrations to Israel. Now, for most of the Jewish community, this was they're connected to the belief that the Word of God gave the prescribed land, the Holy Land, to the children of Abraham and his descendants. Now, for the Muslim community, this area, the Palestine, was extremely important, as the Prophet Muhammad was the final prophet, and one night he went into the night journey called Isra al-Miraj, and once again it showcases the historical implications and historical significance of Palestine and Masjid al-Aqsa. Now, this showcases a timeline of the colonization of Palestine. We're starting from 1882. We have the first Aliyah, and this essentially started all the way up till 1945. Where there was the Balfour Declaration, the Sykes-Picot Agreement, and the White Paper, which essentially indicated that over this time period of around 50 or so years, the control of Palestine was given from individuals who were living there for thousands of years into the hands of those who did not reside. Now, as a result of the Balfour Declaration, the Balfour Declaration was issued in 1917 that led to the formation of the J&H, and it contained a letter from the Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour to Lord Rothschild. And the Balfour Declaration aided that the independence of Israel later in 1948 evolved from. And really this was the declaration that declared the fact that Palestine was no longer going to be a home for indigenous Palestinians, and instead it was going to be a home for those individuals who were not from there. Now, here is essentially a land breakdown of the United Nations plan for what was supposed to be as a result of the land breakdown and land definition. So initially we had number one on the top left, you can see what Palestine originated as, right? We had a full independent state, an independent country. Then it progressed to slow forms of colonization, that occurred, number two. Number three, we had a plan that existed in 1967, and this plan in 1967 progressed essentially where you had a two-state solution where one side was equally controlled by Palestine and the other was controlled by the Israelis. And now you can see that the current breakdown is very, very small amounts of land that is dedicated to the lands of Palestinians. And here you can see that over time, the displacement of Palestinian individuals continually and gradually decreases to the point where at this point today there is very, very little left in terms of the state of Palestine, and as a result, you can see that the local populations were displaced and they were conquered colonially. Now, the Oslo Accords, at present time in 1993, essentially declared that there would be a temporary peace between Palestine and Israel. And it led to a temporary peace where Palestinians would rule over the West Bank and Gaza Strip for 5 years. And what followed in September 1996 was the Al-Aqsa Intifada. Approximately 118,000 civilians were displaced from Palestine due to violence and tension in 2021. And in April and May 2021, conflict increased when Israeli Supreme Courts issued an eviction of Palestinians from East Jerusalem sector of Sheikh Jarrah. And Sheikh Jarrah, generally speaking, was a home for many Palestinians who had fled their original homeland and wanted to live within Sheikh Jarrah, and 2021 started the process of those individuals being displaced. The protests increased and Israeli forces started to raise Al-Aqsa Mosque, and there was a back and forth exchange of artillery continued with Israeli bombing of the Gaza Strip. And the tactics that they were using to evict Palestinians involved extreme levels of violence and destruction of homes and buildings, leaving at least 1,200 people displaced, and this conflict continues to be prevalent and continues to break elements of international law.